Good evening, folks. Welcome to Dark Horse Paranormal. I'm your host, Chris Carr.
And I am Kristen Johnson tonight with purple in my hair.
With purple in your hair. You had quite a fiasco.
We had a fiasco.
That purple together. You want to talk about that a little before we get started?
So I have this stuff. I don't know if I should show it or not. I am because I've already called them. I have this stuff. It's called Splat.
Splat.
And a lot of times I do my hair purple. It's usually very subtle. I'm older, So I've had this for over a year, seriously, because the first thing I don't know where's Anne Marie? She's gonna laugh her ass off at this. The first thing I saw when I opened the box, like a year and a half ago when I got it, I saw it stained. Yes. So I was like, so I bought the other purples, the lighter ones or whatever, and I don't have any more. So I figured I'd just redo it. Okay. Well, it stains. I'm going to tell you, I have it all over my neck that I can't get rid of. My ears, I look like I have elf ears. I have pictures of it. I sent it to my kids. It's all purple. I cannot get it off. Do not use this product. I'm telling you, or you're going to have a shit show.
They're our latest sponsor, Kristen.
Yep, they're going to be. No, Diet Coke will be, Jack. And now we have to paint. I'm so sorry. Chris's bathroom purple because it's all stained.
Did you make a mess?
I did.
Getting all prettied up.
Don't use this product.
I dig it. I like the purple. I think it looks great on.
Oh my God. I can't believe my ears are all stained and my neck and I can't get it off. I've tried everything. Alcohol. I've tried nail polish remover.
It's been a challenge.
It's a challenge, but
yeah,
I like it.
So we have that going on.
Yeah, I have to figure out how to get it all off.
Or just checking out Perfectly Normal Paranormal Communications.
Yes.
And a big shout out to those guys. And they had quite the panel going on tonight. And we saw you guys, and it was really cool. And I'm proud to have you guys on our channels. It was a good show and fun and really cool. And they'll do a quick little roll call.
Yeah, I love that.
I'll see Mr. Mort out there.
Hello, Mort.
WD-40, Mort says about the.
You said paint thinner. I'm like, do it.
Yeah,
do it.
I'll just get some gasoline out of the shed and dump it on you. Kerosene. The Barbara Woodbury spear. Yeah, you're supposed to rub the alcohol, not drink it. See? I told you not to drink and do that.
It's rubbing alcohol. Hey, I didn't even think about the wine. I may go do that later. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Jack Kilowatt is out there. Purple ears are trending on Twitter.
Okay.
So you should be good to go. Right on. Purple ears.
Thank you, Jack.
I'll put that on our Insta.
Okay.
Mr. Bob Brunel. I got a YouTube link out there. Thank you. What's going on, buddy? And speaking of Bob, because I'm not trying to single you out, but I would want to just make a point to some folks out there. These little vapes that we're using, they are nicotine vapes. Now, we are not against the other kind of vapes at all, and we have those too. But if we smoke those as much as we smoke these during the shows,
oh my God,
Lord.
I'd be off my chair. You don't even know what I'm like.
It would totally just be quiet, probably. I know we have indulged a little too much, and it's like we just run out of things to say that actually happened on an interview once. I'm not going to mention any names, but we just
yeah.
What time is it? I don't know what to say anymore.
Sign language. Horns are in the house.
Horns are in the house. Horns up. Horns
up.
up. There we go. Kimberly Horn.
Hello, beautiful.
How you doing, Kim? We were just talking about you. And I see the lovely Lynn Monet out there. Yes. Good thing you did it with a shirt on. Other things might be purple too. Yeah, well, some things might be purple.
Don't go there.
Linda Judd, leave it on. Great icebreaker. Yeah, there you go. Hi.
I have a little bit left.
Joanna Stewart's out there.
Hi, Joanne.
How you
so
doing?
Funny. She makes me laugh all the time. Her and we message back and forth.
And Mort Carroll. I think I got most of you guys. And thank you guys again so much for joining us and taking time out of your Thursday night to hang out with us and hear our bullshit. We really appreciate it. It's not bullshit. We try to keep things as real as possible here, actually. We make an effort. That's why we talk about things like vapes, because we'll tell you the real deal.
Bob, I hit the care
Our
button
kids are
for you.
over. So, we're not trying to be the family show. Anyways, happy Thursday, and we have a great guest for you guys, and we're going to get right to what he's cooking up, and you can see in our ticker, he is the host of the Southern Fried Paranormal Podcast. I do need my glasses for this, so bear with me. His name is Len Dorman, of course, and he was born in Columbus, Georgia, and has lived there most of his life, except for a couple of times living in Florida and Alabama, and over the 14 years in Chicago, and the past 7.5 years living in Arkansas. Well, thank you for that information.
That's awesome.
His first paranormal experience was at 8 years old in Florida at an old sharecropper's home. He also sees, feels Native American spirits, which started at a young age, and we'll talk about that. He has twice seen full-bodied apparitions, one in the Confederate Naval Museum in Georgia, and the other at Willowbrook Farm in Illinois. He has also figured out who the White Lady of Bachelor's Grove is. And we've got some pictures and a story about that. It's going to be very interesting, which is the lady on the stone that Dale, and I can't pronounce that last name, Len, you can tell us about it, group, the Ghost Research Society, took a photo of in 1992. Apparently it's a little controversial. Len has also investigated in Arkansas and in New Orleans, and we just saw Mr. Howard Petrie.
Yes, we did.
From Nolans on Reggie's show, and good to see you're feeling better if you're out there, buddy.
Yeah.
Glad that you're back in business. And several locations. Now Len is mostly retired, living on 4 acres of land in Arkansas and doing his podcast, the Southern Fried Paranormal Podcast, on Thursday nights. So he's going to tell us all about that. Let's bring him right on. Hello, Len. And
he was having some issues earlier.
I see the picture at the bottom, but then I bring him up as black, and this was working before. So,
there he is. Nope.
Is he though? Len, if you can hear me, I think you're going to have to drop and rejoin. All right. So I'm going to pull you out. Yeah, there you go. He's just dropped. So he could hear us.
Good.
And the little picture, I couldn't even see him, but I could see there was some little shakiness there. So, all right. See some more folks out there. Sue.
Yes, Sue's out there. She said something.
You doing? And she says, deaf captioning just popped on. Okay, well, very good. I'm glad that's working. Jack says, oh, wow, sorry to hear that. Losing a loved one is never fun. No, and that's in reference to Lynn. And we are sorry as well, Lynn. Sorry about your sister passing away. It's really tough. So our hearts go out to you. Our condolences. Carr Garcia mentions trade secrets, Kristen.
Secrets. I know. Her daughter owns a salon. Trade secrets. I went to beauty school before I became a nurse. I had my license. Can't even do my own freaking hair. I can do everybody else's though.
Do mine. What do you guys think? Should I go purple?
I asked him to do that with the rest of the bottom. I did. He won't do it. He's scared shitless. We should do something like a something like that,
like what?
A dare and give and give like $1 or something into one of our favorite charities.
Yeah, $1
or something.
I'm gonna dye my hair purple for $1.
Well, I don't know how they do it. Like everybody give $1 and then put it to, and then whatever amount we say, you end up doing it.
I hope Len rejoins us here.
Well, if he doesn't, we've got a whole shitload of stuff to talk about.
Holding the bag. Linda says, "Dye the sideburns."
Oh,
right. Yeah, they are getting a little gnarly. I'm
don't
way
like
overdue
them.
for a haircut.
I have a thing with facial hair. I don't know if anybody knows this. I really do.
You like the soul patch of it, though.
I did.
The tickler.
Oh, do that, and then we'll dye that purple.
Dye, yeah. Now
there
we're
we
talking.
Go.
Yeah, you could maybe do that. Jack says, well, knowing what little I know about you through the podcast and book, it makes sense that you would be the last one. Oh, right. Yeah. We were talking to Lynn about her wonderful books. And Lynn is also on Tuesday nights. I want to say this on the Supernatural Inc. Channel. Lynn, do you want is it Supernatural Inc. Productions or Entertainment? I think it is, right? Is that not what it is? And we're still waiting for Lynn. Hopefully, Lynn is all right.
I'm
If Lynn doesn't come back, maybe you'll want to jump on Lynn.
yeah, somebody Jack Kilowatt. Let's do this.
So yeah, what else has been going on? We haven't been on an investigation in a little while. We were on Salem not too long ago. I think that was the last thing we did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool. It's a very, very cool haunted site. I know Bob is familiar with that and has been there. And we've heard some of like the best local EVPs coming out of there.
Bob Burnell.
Yeah, Bob Burnell.
Funny as hell. That's a good rhyme. Oh my God. Let's do this. It's so dark.
Tie-dye on his body parts. If you spell summit.
Oh, well, we had a conversation earlier.
We did.
And you don't even, you guys, this is terrible. We cannot tell this stuff.
We can do purple. I mean, I think purple's all right. You know, me to look at.
Much
But
less in the bottle of
I don't know if I want it on me.
Oh my God.
Nobody. Like I was telling you, we could paint part of it bright red and then have like a little clown going on.
Oh my God, it was so funny, and you really did tell it.
Yeah, you got to read between the lines of that. You don't want to get poked in the eye by a clown. Looks like Len may have rejoined us. Let's see if we can get him on. Thank you guys for standing by.
Yes, thank you.
Hello, sir. Can you hear us?
Hello. Oh, I can hear y'all just fine. What happened?
Great.
The internet went down to near zero during your intro. Y'all finally came up, and then your screen just froze, and every once in a while will jump one frame.
Oh God.
Oh, okay. Well, it's hopefully jumping a few more now. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm hot. I am drinking very much iced sweet tea, no alcohol. This good old Southern sweet tea with ice added.
Yes, sir.
There you go. That is the Southern drinking.
It is still 91 degrees. The low tonight is 80.
Hot in
Today
Arkansas.
It was right at 100. Yes, it is.
Well, let's start things off. Maybe we usually start with childhood experiences, and you had one. So do you want to tell us about that, about the childhood experience you had with the paranormal?
Okay, the very first one happened about 8 years old. My father was from North Florida. This is an area between, Live Florida is between, about halfway between.
Okay.
Little delay.
Of Orlando.
Okay.
In fact, not too far from Georgia. And he later moved to Georgia. Anyway.
A little freezing up going on. There you go. All right. Starts and stops.
I hope it doesn't do this because his podcast is next after us.
Yeah.
So I hope this doesn't do this on his podcast.
And you guys, just so you know, you can find his podcast on facebook.com/paranormal investigator Len Dorman. Just the way that sounds.
Also find it on YouTube. Just type in Len Dorman and it'll take you right to my channel.
There you go. All right. Yeah, you're hearing us better. I think we're hearing you. Just so you know, you're a little in and out. So go ahead with the childhood experience, Len, if you could.
Please.
Yeah. Anyway, he keeps blinking. He used to send it from a sharecropper he got it because his ancestor fought in the Civil War as a private in the Confederate Army, and they decreed that everybody who fought on both sides would get a small piece of property they could sharecrop on. And they eventually got a lot of other people's shares because it was a bad farming area there, and they'd already wore it out with cotton and sandy soil anyway. It was not good at all.
Can I ask you what a sharecropper is? Is it where you share farmland?
Yes. You share farmland and share the profits from the crops. And there was an old house there that was one of the sharecroppers whose land they got because they either died out or they decided sharecropping wasn't their thing. Because, like I said, in sandy soil in North Florida, you can't grow a whole lot.
You can't grow. Right. My mom lives
And there's
there.
an ocean.
Yeah. And it's all sand. It's basically all sand. And her place is all like sandy, and she tries to plant plants. She loves plants. She actually gets them to grow though. And those she puts soil down, but it is really bad in Florida. It's really hard to grow stuff.
Yep. Just let him give him a second.
Just sell. But anyway, the shack was there, and that's where I got my first paranormal experience as a child. No equipment. I'm just 8 years old at the time, but you could feel the sadness, the last emotions, as they knew they were failing, and there was the land. But I knew that I did because my parents' house, a bedroom, because I was born and raised on the side of the Chattahoochee River, and there's a creek not far from the house. And you know yourself that anywhere you had a river or you had a creek going to that river, that was Indian land.
Absolutely.
Because North America was covered in Native Americans when the white man came over here.
Sure.
If there's water, there were Native Americans.
Water sources,
And
yeah.
I could see those spirits as a child, and then see these older these sharecroppers and feel their emotions.
It's amazing.
It really is. We're right near a river here.
Oh, we were just there.
And we know that
Took our kids
the natives lived
there.
here. Go ahead, Lynn.
It happened one time with a friend of yours, a certain ghost biker chick.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we
She
were
was
talking-
on my show.
Miranda's great.
Yeah, she's awesome.
We love
people.
talking to her. I wonder if you should try maybe audio only and see if that helps. If it's a bandwidth issue,
Oh, good job.
we could just bring you in with audio. I don't know if that would help because we're getting a lot of delays. I'm not sure if you can hear them on your side.
I'm seeing the pictures are flashing. So go ahead and do that. Let's do audio only for me.
Okay, yeah. Why don't we give that a shot? Sometimes that's enough to get through and keep the conversation flowing. So go ahead. You can kill your camera and see if that improves it.
Okay. Like and the cam. I don't want.
Do you know what happened to Sammy? Guarantee you that's what this is.
Yeah, you would have to click stop cam at the bottom, I think.
Yep.
The bottom bar in the StreamYard window, where you have to mute and stop cam settings, present.
Powerful solar flares have been causing radio blackouts on Earth.
Yeah, we're having CMEs.
Yeah.
They are saying now our CME storms were supposed to peak in 2025, but they're
Yeah.
saying by the end of this year they will probably peak because they are ahead of schedule. We've had an awful lot of them.
2 years ahead. Yeah, we were reading up on this, and
People have been talking about their electronics getting wonky and different things, and it may be part of the reason.
Lindsay,
Amazingly, it doesn't make it wonky, but weather, disturbances like you're talking about does.
Yeah.
Anyway, where I'm living now, I live by a man-made lake that is fed by a stream and a bayou.
Mhm.
And of course, Native Americans were covering this area. In fact, there's a Native American cemetery, a very ancient one, only about 15 miles from my house. So this area was.
Right. All right. Let's see. We're out now. Yeah, we've been to some Native American cemeteries. And of course, we have mounds and things of that nature out our way in what's now Grafton, Massachusetts. Was had a different name, like it escapes me. Happened. Oh, it almost had it.
That word is
a native word.
hard to say. Yeah,
has about 20 syllables in it. And happened to suck something. And
I'm familiar with that word. I am not going to try. I'm not going to try to pronounce that.
Yeah. It was a prayer town, and
Native
that's
American
where they
prayer town.
tried to Christianize the indigenous people, which was just something that they were trying in different towns around New England. There was a particular reverend, his name escapes me. We do have a podcast on that, an audio podcast with a lot of history of Native American hauntings. And there was a cemetery, very crude cemetery. They didn't really give them very nice headstones or anything. They're just like rocks.
It was awful because they made they had to move it. It was actually they had to move it. They moved because then they put a road through it. So they moved them all, and it's like a tiny little area now. And they put a little plaque and little stones, and that's it.
Yeah, the stones weren't much.
It's awful. It bothered me when I went there.
It bothered her soul.
Yeah, it bothers my soul.
But did y'all want me to talk about Bachelor's Grove tonight?
Yeah, we do want to get into that. You're breaking up. I don't know if you can hear it as well as we can, but we're losing a lot of your conversation. So I was hoping you could kill the cam and try it that way, because it's coming in blocks. And I think you're continuing to talk, but you're frozen on our side. And I don't think our audience can hear you either.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried.
I know you got a show to do afterwards
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I have complained to my internet people, and they say this is the best we can do. We have a lot of gamers on the same system.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we understand that.
Yeah, you want to plug it straight into your router, whatever you have to.
Can you hardwire right into your router?
That gets over the Wi-Fi gaming.
Because we had that issue.
We have a 50-foot cable we bought just to reach the router in the other room.
We have gamers.
And I game too.
My router is in this room, and I've only got about an 8-foot cable going to my router.
Okay, but you're plugged in right into the router. Yes. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, because Wi-Fi can.
I
believe you.
Oh, look at that!
It's cool looking.
There's a wire, and right there is my router. See the two antennas right up there on top of the file cabinet.
Yeah.
That's my router.
Now that you've shown it, it seems like it's holding up better. So maybe we're hitting a good spot.
It's a wicked nice room.
Do you want to start over with the childhood experiences? You lived, you saw the spirits of natives.
Yes.
You lived near a lake that was fed, I think, by a river.
Yeah, I lived.
And it froze.
I'm living now the same life I was in Georgia, living next to lakes and bayous and creeks.
Mm-hmm. Cricks.
That's what Kim Horn says. Cricks.
Cricks. I usually try to say creeks.
Yes.
But
It's
down
okay if
here,
you take
I
it.
can say it.
We like cricks.
you're talking
too.
about
Yeah,
creeks. You're also talking
love it.
about creeks that are native. That was a Native American tribe that was popular in southern Georgia, mid and southern Georgia. So right, and some people say creeks just to be different from the Native American tribe creeks.
Right, right. My joints crick.
Christopher,
My elbow, my shoulder in particular
my back.
is creaking.
By the way, I will be 67 years old Monday.
Come on.
Happy
So
birthday.
trust me. Oh, thank you. My whole body has creaks.
I believe it. I
Yeah.
understand. I see the pattern forming.
Jack Kilowatt just said if I should
Yeah.
restart the whole system and the router, I did that. That's what I did while I was gone for so long. I restarted everything.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So to answer that question, I did that a few minutes ago.
All right. Well, we'll persist. I don't.
I mean, we have pictures.
We
and
don't mind like
everything.
pausing to let you talk if there's a delay, but we're just missing a lot of the conversation. So I'm not sure if you want to try something one more time and come back. It's really up to you.
There's nothing else I can try. This is just all there is.
How about the camera? Were you able to shut the cam off?
No, I get it from this end.
You don't have stop cam at the bottom of your screen?
Yeah, basically I show everything.
All right.
Hey, could you go ahead and do you have the picture of the lady on the stone?
I have this. We want to start there with the Humphreys and Bachelor Grove.
Okay. This is John Humphrey. He was a senator, a state senator in the state of Illinois. This is his wife, Amelia Patrick. Of course, Humphrey was her last name. This is a wedding picture. The reason it looks so bad in yellow is because this photo was taken in 1863, which is when they
Wow.
got married.
Wow.
Okay.
But the Humphrey House is not accepting tours at this time. It used to be open every third Sunday of every month, and people could tour. But now,
Flare. One's flare. Is it? What is that?
creating a lot of drama.
Yes. Yes, you were saying because of that is this where you were saying about they were trying to sue you for doing this?
Yes, for releasing this information. The picture
So-
to my right, facing it, the man alone, that is John Humphrey. He, like I said, he was a state senator, and these pictures were taken in 1863. He was soon. Both the Patricks and the Humphreys had a lot of land in the area of Bachelor's Grove and Orland, which was called Orland. John Humphrey came to the area in 1840. The city was incorporated in 1892, which is much after him. He founded the town and got a railroad into the area. He was in the late 1870s and into the 1880s and 90s. He was the most powerful man in the state of Illinois, not living in Chicago. If you wanted a railroad in your town, Illinois, you had to talk to Mr. Humphrey.
Okay.
And Carol Garcia said, all those pictures are well kept. Yes, this is a photo of the photos. That's why you got that glare right in the center.
That's what I was asking. Yes.
I took a picture of the photos.
Very cool.
So if you got the picture of the lady on the stone.
Okay, I've got some headstones. Let me see if I can find the lady on the stone. I have a couple of pictures where you've got like circles drawn. Is it one of those?
That is that. I was going to show them later.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That
All
is
right, we'll wait on
things that have been sighted at Backstretch Grove.
Good
If
Lord,
you
I
got
just saw
the
that.
black and white picture of the lady on the stone.
Okay, one moment.
That's a
I've got
picture that actually came from Dale Kazmeric, who's going to be my guest tonight on my show. But we're talking about England tonight. But his group, the Ghost Research Society, took that picture, I believe, in 1992 with an infrared film and a 35 millimeter camera.
Wow. Right.
And it is the most famous ghost picture ever taken.
Oh,
Judy Huff was actually the photographer, but Dale Kazmeric.
that's all I got, and that's the
only
with the
one we
circle.
have that's black and white with the stone is
By
wow.
them.
Len, the only one we have right now that's in black and white is the one that's circled with the full body apparition. That's amazing.
Okay, go ahead and show that.
I got that. Let me see.
Hey, buddy. Come on, Faticus.
One sec, Len. I need a moment to
Hold on,
close
here,
some of
Ogres. Yeah.
these.
Thank you.
StreamYard isn't behaving. Try it again. I'm telling you, CMEs getting us.
Yeah, I just looked that up, and we do have a CME as
Oh,
well.
look at- none of them came
So
up.
it's a corona mess. Ejection. It's a bloody
Absolutely.
solar flare.
None of them are coming up now.
That's what's happening. So
No
just
joke.
to be aware for everybody. I just looked it up.
They're not coming up. Oh man. Well, I can do this. I can do entire screen. I think. Hold on. That'll work.
Okay.
All right. I just gotta shrink this because it's gonna. Can you see my screen?
My connection seems to be a little bit more stable now.
Good. All right. Can you see that picture? I have two black and white pictures. This is one. All right. She's not really on a stone. It's a picture, like the picture we showed before.
I cannot see it.
You cannot see it. All right. Maybe I'm not sharing it right. Let me look. I'm not. Here, I got to do this. There you go.
Okay. Now I got the area for sharing open. Okay. That's their wedding picture.
Yes.
Okay. So I've got that. And I've got one other one here. And that's this.
And that's the only two black and white pictures we have with the other
Of
one.
the group of photos you sent me.
Yes.
So this is really interesting there.
Okay.
This is amazing.
Okay. You can't see any details, but that is a full-bodied apparition, and I believe by looking at this picture, that is Amelia Patrick Humphrey, the lady in the wedding picture.
Wow. Why do you think that?
She looks naked. Am I wrong?
No.
She does. Do you feel that she's wearing clothes or no? It's kind of.
It doesn't look like she's wearing any clothes.
No, it doesn't. And
no.
it's kind of like a black thing around her head, almost like a mask. And she looks nude, from what I can tell. I mean,
Yes.
It's yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it in perspective with the photograph. It looks like a nudist walking behind a cemetery. And that's pretty darn cool.
That's awesome.
The stone in the foreground is the Patrick stone off of since you didn't get the other photos, Libby May Humphrey's grave. She was buried in the Patrick plot. Remember, that's Amelia's maiden name, Amelia Patrick. Her daughter was Libby May Humphrey. It was her firstborn child, born in 1865. She died at 11 months, 4 days. And Orland Park their cemetery there was not available for burial until 1869. That's the headstones that you saw in the photo.
Was there anything particular about the way she died or anything to do with her head? Because I found the head is kind of distorted,
Yeah.
has a black mark in it. I can't tell if it's the tree behind her.
It is kind of
it's weird.
The absolute the cause of death and sometimes she was pretty solid, sometimes she was translucent.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing there for a sec. That's a really interesting picture. I wanted to see some of the comments people had about that. Of course, I can't read without my glasses on. See, CMEs, coronal mass ejections.
How do you spell chlorine?
Use spell check.
Carol Garcia asked,
Yes.
Is there another person on her left? No, there was nobody else in that photo. There was no human beings in that photo.
Yeah, Jack asked about the head trauma. Might explain the black
Yes.
spot. Yeah, that's
I
what
wrote
we're
that down. It does look like that.
That's how you spell chlorine.
We're not sure about this. It could be just the way she appeared. She would appear one form or another.
It is really a cool picture. And we lost your audio.
Libby May had it. Oh,
it's just.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can. It just comes and goes.
Yes.
Len, sorry.
Right. Libby had to be 1869. Libby died in 1865. So John asked her to go ahead and put her in the Patrick plot in Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, and that's the link to the Humphreys, the Humphrey house where those photos reside, and Bachelor's Grove. And this is why Dale can.
All right, I'm gonna try audio
of Amelia sitting on the stone.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna bring up another photo.
Okay.
We'll try to go through a few photos and go from there. This one's very interesting. Make it big, and then I'll share it with the screen.
While I've got a minute,
sure.
Decent connection here. The way they're buried, you have John Humphrey in the center.
Looks like she's yelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a woman.
You have his second wife buried on the other side of him, and the children of each that died in the area buried on the other side of their respective mothers. So he's got both of his wives buried with only him in between them.
Oh wow!
He married his second wife 6 months after his first wife died. She was his secretary from him being state senator, and they've been having an affair since he hired her when he became state senator. So this created a whole lot of drama, as you can imagine, in Illinois. And you can imagine the drama it creates on the paranormal side. The two of them still don't get along. And this is why the Bachelor's Grove is not as haunted as it used to be, is because Libby May followed me home a couple of times.
Yeah.
Goddamn cats playing fetch.
But she no longer has to go to her grave to pick her up every night. I told him just to get out of here. Forget about John, forget about this old abandoned cemetery, and go out and see the world. And today, everybody would tell you that goes to Bachelor's Grove, it's a lot quieter than it used to be.
Where does the name Bachelor's Grove come from?
In fact, the only person she will come to, Okay, this is a good question that's been asked for a couple of centuries. One story is and they started farms in the area. They started a small little group of houses. You couldn't call it a town when there's only about 10 or 15, 20 people living there. And they were all bachelors. So they called the settlement Bachelor's Grove.
Excellent.
Sound like they're having a pretty good time over there in Bachelor's Grove. The man even gets buried with both of them, right?
Right,
One
yeah.
on each side. Like, I'm ready for the afterlife.
Yeah, remember Lynn Monet had a thing like that.
She has a good story.
Yeah, she's a good story, just like that. Yeah.
Similar. Yeah.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
about the mistress and the wife.
And they all
The guy
meet up in the afterlife.
Yeah, and then the guy didn't want to
He
go.
doesn't want to cross.
He doesn't want to cross because he's so
he's
afraid.
like, they're over there. And if I cross, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
They're going to know about each other. All right. So I'm going to try another picture. And we'll talk about that a little bit. And we'll see if internet gets any better. Let's see. I'm going to do that again. Sorry, guys. And there we go. And this one, I'm going to zoom in. Because if you're watching on your phone, you may have trouble picking this up. But
yeah,
it's definitely there.
Zoom into that.
You've got the face here. You've got the long hair. She looks like she's screaming.
Yeah.
She's wearing a dress. This one does appear to be dressed. This is a clothed ghost.
Yes.
Clothed.
This one's closed.
What is that saying? The monsters don't eat ghosts.
Is not Amelia. That is not the same person.
Okay. Yep.
Now
it is a woman.
This could be a Native American. This could be a Native American spirit because approximately 150 yards from Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is the grounds of an older Indian village that we think, by talking to tribal members, was out. Bachelor's Grove is not because it's an abandoned cemetery, although that all the mess going on and the desecration of the cemetery helped. It's the land making it a haunted cemetery. The land is cursed. It's been poisoned by a massacre where a small tribe of Native Americans almost got wiped out.
You got a little something over here too.
Yeah.
You see this? This almost looks, I hate to say it, looks like a Sasquatch, doesn't it?
It's like elemental.
See the body, shoulders, and then you got the face here. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. There's an artifact
going on here.
There's an artifact here.
Yeah.
But
it was known to have dogs there, evil dogs.
Evil dogs, like hellhound dogs? Evil dogs?
Something like that. They were usually shadows or show up as an outline like you just saw in this photo.
Why do you call them evil?
Because they usually come out late in the evening or early part of night after nightfall.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, you can hear us when we say that, but you can't hear that his audio is going out.
They were trying to people.
This is interesting. And there's some stuff going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
You see how it crosses over into the grass? See the line?
Yeah.
That makes up sort of the arm of this. I think there are two things.
Look what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on in every picture that you're doing?
What is happening there?
I have no idea. Do you guys see that?
You guys seeing a little white dot?
Little white dots on the map.
The white dots, yes. I can see them.
Amazing.
What is going on with
I have no idea. This is
it looks like an SLS cam from Horn Paranormal Research.
Horns
up.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Like
awesome. Sorry, guys.
Whatever reason, I think maybe you got to look at this picture again and look at what else you got in here. That to me looks like a Sasquatch, and it's weird how it's showing you the arm.
Yeah, it's on every page.
It must be my mouse or something. I don't
How can
know.
it be your mouse? Your mouse is not doing that.
It's so weird.
Oh my God, I love
But
it.
it does cross over into the grass. I don't know if you can see that in our screen share.
You have a lot
Len.
going on there.
And his eyes here too is almost a face at the bottom. So there's some stuff going on. I don't really want to say that's all
Yeah. 'Cause
pareidolia, because that's sometimes things get wonky. You get a good photograph like that. Like, there's all kinds of things going on that's wonky.
we have no idea.
Not just the
Jack.
one spirit. Pretty cool.
There was
Pretty
a lot
cool.
going on.
Yeah, what's up with the white dots, Jack?
That
Kelsey?
was
We don't
awesome.
know. We don't know. That was pointing out the other apparition, or that looked like the ghost of a Sasquatch.
It was awesome.
In my humble opinion.
I don't know why, but in my opinion, that was awesome.
Something, or an elemental, like Kristen
particles.
said, something.
Yeah.
Not that it might not be one and the same.
Oh, Linda
Yeah.
Judd said the little particles on the screen, artifacts from the arrow's movement.
Yeah, my mouse.
Yeah,
that's what
I get that.
I think it's related to the mouse, but I
It
don't know.
wasn't on our side, so that's awesome.
Yeah, well, all kinds of weird stuff going on tonight. It's a
Yeah.
very haunted show, Lynn.
Yeah, it actually is. Jack, that
Well, I have had some nutty shows.
yes,
What things got going on.
yes, we've seen some, and I'm like, oh my God, love you. We love your show.
And there's Kim Hart, and then she probably put up like a Giphy or something, a sticker. They don't come through on the StreamYard.
No, it's actually, thank you, Kim. I know what she did. She sent 200 stars.
Oh, thank
We
you,
love
Kim.
Thank you
so much.
Kim.
We are saving up for the Bahamas.
Oh,
Actually, we're going to
thank
wait
you,
till they're live, and we're going to give you back some of that.
Wow.
There we go. There's the horns right there.
Horns up.
And
There's that.
hello, Pam.
Hi, Pam. I just saw that on the other page.
A new person. How you doing? Welcome to Dark Horse Paranormal. We're having some technical issues, but we're getting through it. We got a really interesting guest here with us. If we can't get through everything, Len, we'll just have to have you back on when your internet's working a little better. When we get that figured out. Were you off the air for a while because your internet had issues, or you lost your provider or something?
I've just got flashing back and forth. I'm back on right now on my side.
Yeah, you
I
come and
got live
go.
pictures of you too, and yes, I come and go. What it does. This is a tower, kind of a cell phone based internet. It's about the only kind we can get here.
Are you
And
like in the boonies?
He's in
Is
Arkansas.
that why? In the boonies in Arkansas?
I'm in the
He's near
boonies.
Yeah, that's what I
The town-
figured.
The town I live by is Star City, and I'm 2 miles.
It's like 2 miles away. Still, he's in the boonies. My
Yeah,
goodness.
it probably fluctuates. I know I've watched your show before.
We have this.
And Southern
Do this.
Fried Paranormal Podcast, and it's a great show. You have great guests on there, and I don't recall ever seeing any internet issues. So I think we just are having a rough night
Yeah.
with it.
I worry about his
Oh.
podcast next. His podcast, I've said this before. He has a podcast and it will be next after ours.
Yes.
And I'm worried about that. The Southern Fried what is it? Paranormal Podcast?
Yep. Southern
God.
Fried Paranormal Podcast.
Do you hear the drawl coming? Ugh.
Yeah. Get a little south in your mouth.
Yeah, I do. And that's it.
Chris, did you have any other photos that came through that you want to put up?
I think I do. Let me see what I've got. I'll take a quick peek. And we enjoyed those two. Are very, very cool. Let's see here. Getting back to Libby May. I've got a Libby May, 11 months, says, from 1865, buried at Bachelor's Grove. I've got some pictures.
That is written proof. That was a note done by the Humphrey family when she died. And that's the proof positive right there.
Okay, that one actually came up in my StreamYard, so I can throw that on the screen easily. There, that worked.
Wow.
Okay. I don't see it.
Oh well,
It's
it's up there. You'll see it.
It's cut.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Libby May. This is written. At her death.
Interesting.
You see
Interesting. Now, there,
the old fashioned spelling of bachelors, BATCH.
like a batch file,
Wow. Yeah.
or
I
a
didn't-
batch of moonshine.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, let me see what else I've got.
You were asking if I lived in the boonies. I live in southeast Arkansas.
Yes.
Star City is halfway between Pine Bluff and Monticello. If you want.
I'm gonna bring up this house if I can. I know he wanted to talk about this
Yeah.
too.
Is this me?
There we
Is that me?
go. Hey, Len, when your audio comes back, do you want to talk about this a little bit?
This is the picture of the Humphrey house, where the pictures, the black and white pictures of John and Amelia. This is where they're shown.
Okay.
They're no longer giving tours of this house.
Okay.
This house was completed in 1881, was when this house was finished, which was about the same year that Amelia died. He built this house for him and Amelia to move into. She never got to move into it because she died very quickly after this house was built.
Life
So he
just
basically moved his second wife in here.
Oh, boy.
Oh, she got the benefits.
Oh.
The house has been restored. It's full of antiques, and it's a shame they've shut it down for tours. But as you can tell, it's a very beautiful home even today.
It's gorgeous. I love the columns, the porch. I mean, everything. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks nice. Looks like a nice day.
Now, do you know why they shut it down? I'm out in frame here. Was it like an owner change?
Well,
We'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Len.
Okay. Now are we
Now I
still
hear
flashing?
you.
Anyway, this house is actually owned by the Historical Society of Orlando.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It looks good, but he's freezing
Yeah.
on every page. So we got this.
All right.
I'm worried about it.
So if you were asking for an ownership change, there was several.
There were several changes.
Well, I was just wondering why they didn't give tours now. That's all. And you said it was Historical Society. So now that it's owned by.
So George is out there. What's going on, George?
And
So
So
I'm
Len,
hearing a weird sound.
I
Yes, go
bet
ahead.
you are hearing some weird stuff, but what's happening is we're not hearing you, unfortunately. And I don't know. I think we need to kind of reschedule this
yeah, because
and bring you back on when your internet's
Please.
a little better, because you got some great stories, man. And we love your show. We've watched it, many times.
we're gonna watch it
And-
tonight and hope to goodness that your internet stays on.
And we would like to revisit this and dig in a little deeper, because between the Bachelor's Grove and some of the other things we were talking about before the show, there are a lot. You have a lot to say, and I want people to be able to appreciate these stories and pictures as good as they can. So if it's all right with you, I think we'll end the interview now and give you some time to work on your internet, because your podcast is coming up as well.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll stick around. We'll do a little open lines.
Sure.
And
Yes. In about
chat with our
25 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would try rebooting everything again as suggested by Jack. I know you did it one time, but I would do it again. And we're really having a hard time. If you play any of this back, you'll see your audio just is out more than it's in, and you're freezing up. So I know you can't help it, and we understand.
We understand.
It's happened to us too.
So.
So we get it.
And
We really appreciate you coming on.
thank you.
And we want everybody to check out your show on
All right.
YouTube and Facebook. Look up Len Dorman, Lendorman,
Mhm.
and you'll be able to find his page, Southern Fried Paranormal Podcast.
Yes, it's coming on. It would.
Search that in Facebook. It'll bring you right to the page, and he'll be on in about 25 minutes, and you can check out him and his guest.
Mm-hmm. He's got a
thank
good
you.
guest too.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much for joining us, Len, and we'll
Yeah.
talk. We'll do
We'll
this
talk
again.
to you in a little while.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Len.
All right, guys. So thank you for sticking around. I know
Yeah.
it's tough when we have these things, and
Yeah.
maybe it is the damn CMEs. It's
I
people
just
keep saying
looked
it.
it up.
So, we were just having this conversation.
Yep.
Sky Ray had asked us about that,
Mhm.
and she's cool. She's down in Rhode Island. We're gonna go out
Yep,
to
we're
eat
going out to eat
with her and her
Saturday.
guy, and that's gonna be fun.
So there will be no Bigfoot and the bunny.
That's right. That was why.
and the bunny, Brandon Cooper.
Well, I was wrapping back around to that because we're not going to do a Saturday show. We're just going to go out to eat. And if you guys are in the Rhode Island area, we'll go out to
Yeah.
eat with you too. And
Bob Burnell.
Bob Burnell. Well, we're going out with Bob. We're actually going to investigate with Bob.
Yeah, we are.
Pretty soon. And I think we're going to probably set up some other dates to do that as well. And if anybody wants to jump on, we kind of do our open lines here now. Bob, George, I know you've got a YouTube channel with some cool
Oh my God.
spirit box stuff.
Yeah, he does.
And if you want to share, that or like us to share it, we could definitely share some videos. And George says already subscriber to Len. Yeah, there you go.
Great.
That's cool. That's cool. And he is a good guy, and
It's awesome.
we wish him the best on his upcoming show, because when those things happen, it's tough.
I know.
There's only so many things you can do. It's more than clear your cache and cookies. It's just not working.
I have to do that all the time on my phone.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to you guys. I want to know what you guys' plans are. You guys have some summer plans, some paranormal plans?
Linda Judd said
I know,
earlier she wanted us to talk about past life regression.
Past life regression. Yeah, very interesting.
Linda Judd, are you still here?
The we did a little of that in Pickens, South Carolina with Dr. Mary Bassett. Gave me a little bit of a past life regression. That was interesting. Barrett.
Barrett.
And that was kind of fun. They were going to
She's
be
here.
a guest on our show, and they will be at some point. Yeah. So it was interesting because it's one of those things I think is a lot like subconscious work, like working with a pendulum kind of thing, or where if you're doing any kind of psychic work, I think you're part of Psychics United, and they do stuff like this where it's kind of
Psychics Unite,
first response type thing starts to tell a story. So you in remote viewing, right?
Right.
Where you can't filter any of the data. So she was asking me things like, all right, where are you? What do you see and stuff? And
Yes.
I had to just, whatever was in my head, just come out with it. And it starts to build the story. What is your name? Stuff like that.
What was your name?
I forget now.
How can you forget that? It was
Well-
Mary or Susan or something.
Yeah, so you forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
That's how I forgot. Yep. Cool.
Jack.
And it starts to come. So, it's that first response. It's that thing with our subconscious, because, we really do think that's where all the connections are kind of made. It's like that's the portal for like all people. Like we're all connected by our subconscious, and we could probably read each other a lot better the more we can tune into that. It's why we harp on things like hypnagogic and hypnopompic states, because you're starting to get into an area where the subconscious is becoming greater than your conscious rational mind, right? And things start to slip, and you start to see things, feel things, everything changes, shifts. You start to move into a dream state. And at that point, you're very open to actually tuning into real information, as well as the stuff that's just kind of kicking around your brain, right? That makes up a lot of our dreams. They're not all, true alien visitations or, Bigfoot experiences.
How about shadow people?
Or shadow people.
Where's
But
I don't know if
we
Kim
think that some of them are.
Brady is on or Kim Moore. Yeah, we've got to talk.
Carol says she's going to St. Augustine, Florida at the end of July. Fantastic. And you're in New Jersey, right? Is it New
Joycey.
Jersey?
Yes, she's
Yeah. So that's a nice trip. It's gonna be a little hot, but it'll be fun. Linda says, yes, the pendulum is good for beginning yes, no questions, and then the story starts to show up in your mind. That's right. That's a good way to view that. You could do that to tune into the things that you are trying to see, if that's the right word, in your mind. It might be a remote view. Bob says, lighthouse. Which lighthouse, Bob? Carol says, the Stanley Hotel.
Is it the Stanley or the Shanley? Because that Shanley's in New York.
Shanley's in New York and
Stanley is in Colorado, I believe.
Colorado.
Yes.
Right.
And that is where the Shining was made. I think it's the Shanley. Yes, Joycey. I love Carol.
Right. That's cool. Hey, there's Greg. Hey, Greg.
Greg.
What's going on,
buddy?
How are you?
It's family.
So yeah. And what other investigations do you guys have planned? And so you can start to write it down, journaling the full story for further consideration about the lessons. Right. And again, that goes a lot like remote viewing, right? So even the technical type of remote viewing or a military style, if you will, you're putting down your first thoughts about things with a shape, a description, colors, whatever pops in your head as quickly as the moment that you start to think about it is where you lose it. And she says the Shanley.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's the Shanley.
We actually met a girl. Her name is Stephanie at a Haunting of the Mill.
Paragon. That's right. Steph. Yeah.
Stephanie. And she is a tour guide there at the Shanley. And she sells haunted dolls. That's how I remember the Shanley.
She had some really creepy dolls.
A lot of people bought those creepy dolls.
Yeah.
And they were creepy. I mean, there were tons of them. Like, I was creeped out. Okay. I felt the feeling I was feeling with these things. Some of them, dolls, were kind of creepy. So, but she did. She, said, come on down. You're, close to us. And she drove almost 18 hours as well to get there. So, yeah. It
was a long ride, but we'll do it again.
Yep.
We're looking forward to the Haunting of the Mill Paragon in 2024.
Oh, yes. Yes, we are.
As well as some other things. I believe Ocean State's coming up pretty soon. I'm not sure if they have vendor tables still available. We're going to look into that. We sold a lot of our crystals and things we've been hawking, at these things. And
is it a necklace?
Yeah, Kristen just kind of steals them.
I'm sorry. It's so pretty.
Thanks, Kristen.
It's got chakras on it as well. Nobody can really see it because but we have a.
What do you guys think? Do you like our necklace? Would you consider buying things like this off a website if we have one that have them for sale? Let us know. We do have some cool stuff. We sometimes make things. We're working on that. Our close friends have charm bags from us, mojo bags.
Yeah, mojo bags.
Things of that nature.
Don't worry, Carol. It's
Carol
fine.
Says,
we speak your language.
She is. Yeah. She was really cool. We'll get to talk to her at the Paracon. Greg says, beautiful.
Thank you, Greg. Hey, Greg.
And it says, I happen to have a birthmark associated with myself, a conducted past life regression, and then after further pondering, the story revealed. I realized that I understood the life in question, and yes, I had taken the lesson into my heart. Sometime after this, the birthmark disappeared.
Come on.
Well, that's weird. I have had a birthmark disappear too. I had a strange one on my ankle. And I don't think you know this. As a child, and it was like
you did tell me,
red. Now, let me tell them. It was red, and it was strange. It got bigger. And I went to the doctor, and I don't know if they biopsied it or what, then because this is a long time ago. They said, it's nothing, and don't worry about it. And it disappeared. Just one day, I noticed, wow, that's been gone. I wonder when that went away.
Why would it go away?
I don't know.
That's the question.
Why would it was good size,
It was what ankle?
It was at least as big
Peter
as
Griffin
this
on
one
it, or
here
was the other
on my neck. It was like about that size, I guess.
Was it? Is it the ankle with Peter Griffin on it, or is it the other one?
Yeah.
Don't ask. Don't ask. Don't tell.
The necklace is beautiful.
Thank you, Carol. And
Jack says, I did a remote viewing meditation about a cold case near me years ago and saw the murder, the location, and was given a bunch of information about how to find a place. Found it on Google Earth.
Oh,
Wow, that's super
wow.
interesting, Jack. That's cool.
Jack, you should come on.
Such a lag in my messages getting through.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. A weird night.
I've been weird
Where
all
did it?
day.
Where did it go? Is the question. Oh, yeah, right. Did it move? Did it shift?
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
It
Mm.
grow, turn into a small twin.
It's
That
what I
eventually
asked.
fell off and carried a consciousness of its own.
Oh, we like share a brain so bad.
Never contacted the police, Jack says, but the case had new developments a month ago, and I feel I need to contact the police at this point. Well, that's super interesting.
And you should.
And
if
you
that's your
should.
feeling, yes.
But I can understand the apprehension about doing that because you don't want to be considered like a suspect. In something, right?
Yes,
Like,
we talk about this. Yes.
yeah. Reggie was saying he was doing some cold cases, and we've had a couple in our mentoring group and the remote viewing when we did that. And I don't know what became of that information. It got passed along. It was a group of people doing it. And we didn't really hear anything else back. But, we didn't organize it.
We didn't, but actually we were a little spot on with brown leather, stuff like that. We did do that. And there was
the cold case in particular.
Yes.
We don't know if we hit it or not.
We just did.
But we passed that on. Let's see. Jack says, well, when I was 2 years old, the murder took place. I'm pretty sure I'd be ruled out. Oh, there you go. There you go. So, yeah, maybe you should come forth.
So, yeah, and, you should, Jack.
Present that information.
Absolutely.
I think that's cool.
That's awesome.
I think that subconscious stuff is really the next level paranormal. It's like being able to tune that somehow and get results will be very interesting. And I don't know, what was the name of what we were watching on the Wi-Fi's?
Oh, good
they need
Lord,
us
we have to go watch it tonight.
Give them a plug, but the show is awesome on YouTube.
Jack, you're the crab cat.
what was the name of the guy? Do you remember?
Which one?
We just watched it.
We watched two of them because we missed them, and there's
for the time travel.
The time travel was Kosanov's mirror. Is that the one?
Yeah. Is it Kosanov? Yeah, that's right. It's close enough. Kosanov.
I told you not to
is a
Russian
gentleman named Kosanov, and his mirror very interesting, kind of in the shape a bit like when we talk about.
It's made out of aluminum.
When we talk about the mirrors, right? The tilted mirror, the psychomantium. Yes, psychomantium. And that's where they go in a room with the tilted mirror and you're kind of scrying on the mirror, right?
This was totally not like that. This was like a big aluminum thing, and you went around and you sat
more
in
than
a chair.
A thing. It was mirrored, and it was in the shape of what, Chris? The Nautilus shell, right?
Yes.
Right. So that was the geometrics of it. But it was basically a psychomantium because it's all mirrored inside, right?
Right.
And people felt that they could travel time and things grew differently and behaved differently in it. It was super interesting. We should do a show on it.
Yeah, we should.
At some point. And we got our data correct. Close enough.
Thanks, Linda.
Yes.
But it's cool because the Nautilus shell is like, Jack, are you with us?
They know what a Nautilus shell looks like.
I forgot the name of the.
They know.
Yeah, but I forgot the name of it. Darn it.
There's a whole bit of geometry that goes with that, right? So yeah, sitting in that, they found that they could remote view better, and apparently the Russians put a lot of time and money into that, just that remote viewing within these things. And we'd like to build one. Build one at home version.
Last time we said that, somebody took our idea. Now, please stop.
It was later verified that once taking your lessons to heart, related birthmarks are supposed to disappear.
Really?
Oh, maybe I did learn a lesson. I don't know. Life is one big
Never heard that before.
Kick you in the ass last
Thank you, Linda.
end of the day, right?
Georgia said something here. I'm looking it up now. Golden ratio.
Yeah. It's a ratio. Yeah, that's
Looking
good.
it up.
Anyways, that's all right. It's been pretty cool, but
It's from the Fibonacci sequence, and it's 5.
Fibonacci sequence.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Google. I got Dr. Google next to me over here.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, we do know a lot of that stuff, but occasionally,
There's
Occasionally
so
we-
many squirrels in our minds that occasionally one of them falls out. At least mine falls out and goes, somewhere else, and another squirrel comes in and says, "Hey, you know about Puma Punku?" Yes, I do.
Dr. G, Bob says. Bob Burnell.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Mr. Burnell.
Absolutely.
You should come down, come have dinner with us in Providence Saturday. Come on. What are you doing?
Here's another
Ooh,
paranormal thing we can talk about.
Yes.
What do you guys like for tools? We bought this. It's not our first one. I had a really old compass that I lost somewhere along the way. It was actually from being in Boy Scouts for 6 months or something when I was a kid. But we got this one, and where were we using this? Was it Salem?
No, it was on the ship.
Yeah, that's the Salem bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant in Salem. We go other places. So yeah,
And it was spinning, and that was pretty interesting.
yeah. I had put
I
it
did
down,
catch
and I was doing something like way over here, and Chris comes by, and he's setting up his stuff, and he goes, "Oh my God, it's moving!" I'm
I
like,
was like, did you
"Get
just
out."
put that down?
Yeah, he's like, "Did you just put that down?" I'm like, "No, I put it down like 20 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago." And the thing was moving. I was like, "That is cool."
Yeah.
Hello.
So that's an old school tool. You get that from Hans Holzer.
Please put up Carol Garcia's comment. This is interesting.
I was watching Black Mirror. It's a very cool show on Netflix, and it was interactive. I got stuck in that episode, and it felt like Groundhog Day. I couldn't get the darn episode to turn off, and boy, I was getting freaked by it. Wow,
That's interesting.
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Linda says, I checked past journals from 2022 and found 2 other past life regressions that came in my dreams. Only recently did I realize they were past life regression dreams. Well, that is certainly cool, and something you should pursue. Let us know. Let us know what you come up with that, because I think that's really interesting. The idea of past lives and reincarnation, soul fragments, very interesting topic that we've touched on from time to time. There being different parts of a soul. That part does go and get reincarnated. That part stays in the earth. Love that stuff. We do. Jack says the Bandersnatch episode of Black Mirror is interactive, and it's great. It's interactive.
I've never watched Black Mirror, and he keeps telling me to watch it, and I'm like,
I thought we had seen some, huh?
nope.
Well, we have to watch that one, the Bandersnatch. I'm down with that. In fact, we just canceled on Netflix. I don't know if you guys are going with this, but I don't like. I'll be honest. I share it with Chris and my daughter. We share it around, and they're cracking down on that and making it kind of difficult, to do. And I think it's a little too much for what we pay. So we have it till tomorrow, I believe. And that runs out.
Oh shit.
So maybe we'll have to watch that tonight after the show. Jack says it's choose your own adventure film. Wow. Oh, that's interesting. How do you interact with it? What do you do? How does it know what you're thinking?
Yeah, sure. Question.
Greg says, where did my stethoscope go? Why do we appear to be dead? Greg?
Oh shit. I hope not.
Carol says, no, not to me. It wasn't. That's the one I couldn't get out of. Wow.
I am not watching that show. Thank you.
So they prompt you with questions while you're watching it. And do you
That's
put on different, how do you get a different ending than, how do you get a happy ending? This sounds so wrong. How do you get a different choice? And Jack says, like, eat the Frosted Flakes or eat the Cheerios.
like eat the red pill, eat the blue pill.
All right, Matrix.
Right.
Heck yeah. Linda says, this year, a few months ago, I did have recognized a past life dream as it was playing in my dream. And I woke, I felt so relieved of a burden. It was wonderful to wake up with a burst of energy. Very interesting. Very interesting. How do you guys think past lives work? If a part of your soul goes back to source, go with source, does it then get mixed in with everybody else's part? And maybe this, is why so many people say they were Cleopatra. And I'm quoting Matt Oren from his book Psychic Witch. Actually talks about just that in that book. Why so many people would say they think they were, or have some kind of memory of being Cleopatra because it's part of a pool, as opposed to like, you lived that life yourself, and solely by yourself. That you may have a sort of a blend. Thoughts. Jack said different endings based on what you pick.
There you go.
That's cool. Yeah,
I can't wait for
wanna
the new
see it.
Stranger Things to come out. And guess what? We have no Netflix now.
Well, you can get it.
Mhm.
You can share it with me, and I'll call you 50 times to tell
Okay.
you, can I watch this show?
I don't do that to you.
No, but you would if you kept watching Netflix. Though he was doing it.
I'm not sorry.
You don't understand.
Mm-mm.
Yes, Jack. How did he do it without feeling like you were going nuts and feeling like you're in Groundhog Day? I don't know. That sounds pretty cool. I think we should watch that. I'm intrigued.
Have any of you scryed in the Black Mirror? I was just thinking about that when Carol Garcia had mentioned that comment a little while ago.
Jack says, I don't think our soul gets blended with other souls when we get back to source. I think each soul has its own journey.
I believe that.
I don't know. I kind of like the blending idea, and I think it does explain a lot. It's not to say that all the parts get blended, right? And I think there's multiple parts to that soul, that it's not just one thing and you're exactly the same, except now you're dead. And
No,
I think things happen. And I think that's why we don't immediately try to reach out to people recently deceased, for example.
Exactly.
And the reason being that it's rude. There's a process going on. Nobody knows exactly what that process is, but I think my best thought on it anyways is that it's multiple parts and there's things going on.
Yeah.
There is a part that's going to be more etheric and recycle. There's a part that stays maybe with the earth and it's their hauntings. There's a part that maybe just disappears altogether, yeah. I don't think you're getting the full person when you're talking to spirits, for example.
Okay. Water scrying's good too. I was just wondering if anybody had because we have a Black Mirror,
Right.
but it's small. Something like a big Black Mirror, maybe scry into that. And yes, you have done it.
Yes.
What do you think, Carol? What did you see?
I have
Small. I have
scryed in a crystal, a round crystal about this big. I've actually put a lot more time in than that mirror. I used to do this for a long time, and I would just look in there and I would start to make movies eventually. They look like watching, I don't know, like a camera in a room. And I didn't necessarily know what I was watching or who I was watching.
It's weird.
And that may have something to do with the intentions. I was just trying to see what would happen. But eventually I would start to see movies. Is that similar to your experience, Carol?
Oh my
half
God.
my face melted off.
Okay.
Well, okay.
This is what I was going with here. It depends on who is looking at the mirror, what you're feeling at the same time. And it's very weird. That's why I had asked that question.
Maybe setting the intention, right?
But
now
you're not setting
New
an
Kirks
intention.
have a mirror.
Where is
right.
that?
Yeah, we watched their podcast recently, and we didn't realize they had Greg, and I know you're a fan of Hellier. Do you know they have a podcast? They have Connor Randall like running the tech stuff.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And it was good.
We love it.
It was good. We enjoyed it.
They have a haunted Black Mirror.
It's called what is it? The Haunted Objects
No,
podcast.
it's the Haunted Museum.
You might want to Dr. Google that.
I'm Googling this
There you
pitch.
Give that a Dr. Google before we plug them wrong.
Oh, we will.
But yeah, they did an episode on this, one of their haunted objects, which is a black mirror. And people apparently do see things like their face melting off. They see their face doing things that their face isn't doing, which is really creepy, like smiling, blinking.
One of them, somebody looked into it. They saw their face, but then they saw their face come around and smile. It was really
another
creepy.
version of themselves.
Yeah,
pretty spooky, and apparently
That's
it's
why I
verified
asked
by
the question.
quite a few people from doing as many shows and events as they do. Jack says, "Yeah, Chris, I think in a sense we do get blended. In a sense, we all return to the source, which is comprised of love, and that place we are all the same entity, and then we return as individuals." So yeah, it seems to me, and it's possible that some of that information, maybe past life stuff, gets put in that pool. Cal says she didn't like the feeling she got.
Nope.
And Greg says,
It's Planet,
Haunted Museum of the Paranormal and Occult.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the name of the
it's
show.
Planet Weird.
Planet Weird is the channel, right? The show is called something else.
Paranormal and Occult Museum live feed. Let's see.
It's not. It's like the haunted objects
It's
thing.
called, it is this Haunted Museum, Planet Weird.
I'll do the Dr. Google.
You do it. Go ahead. It's right here.
Fine. I'll do it. Right? I know Planet Weird is the YouTube channel that they're on. But
We'll talk about that next, George. That's another thing too.
I don't know. If you go to the Planet Weird, you'll find it. They did one on a different box
what?
too, which is pretty cool.
I'm sorry.
Haunted Objects podcast. It's right there. So, Haunted
Said
Objects. Yeah. Anyways, pretty cool
Yes.
stuff. And you see Greg and Dana Newkirk hosting that. That's pretty cool. You know, we really liked Hunger. That was a big show for us.
And now they're coming out with another one called The Unbinding. Greg, I don't know if you knew that.
Google Apport.
Oh,
Had
we
that happen.
know.
Oh, we're into
Oh,
Apports.
that's why I said.
If you like Apports,
Oh my goodness.
look up this gentleman named Stanley Krippner.
Yes.
He has an episode on Thinking Aloud or New Thinking Aloud
New Thinking Aloud with Jeffrey Mishlev.
that he talks about Apports. We always say it wrong. It's not airport.
No,
It's Apport.
we go for it's Apport.
Apportation.
Right.
And this is where objects just appear. The objects can disappear and then reappear. According to some researchers, sometimes they have a different molecular structure,
Damn, Jack, we're like kindred spirits.
which is pretty interesting. Yeah, love Stanley and Mishlev. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm
We're like
more
kindred
influenced by
spirits
that
here.
stuff than really any of the ghost shows. You know,
Eh,
the way is way better. There's way more information and really good, concise information. Oftentimes, detailed to the point of science, which is great.
that's what we're doing.
Are you guys Patreon? No, we're not on the Patreon.
Girl.
Greg. For Greg and
That's
Dana.
so
Oh,
weird
yeah.
because Jacob had asked me that the other night. He says, "Are you guys on? You guys are on?" He said, "He told me something, and he's, you guys are on Patreon and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "We don't have Patreon, not yet." Yeah.
Because we had nothing to really sell.
Well, it's not that either. We need more subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, need something to sell too.
Nice.
Yeah, I've
George.
been watching for a few years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's been doing it forever. And he won the Bob Bigelow Award
Yeah.
for proof, writing an essay on proof of the afterlife or existence of the afterlife.
In
Best
fact,
data. And he won that thing. And he won, I think, about $250,000
yeah.
from Bob Bigelow, who owns Bigelow Aerospace,
Don't even get me started.
who owned Skinwalker Ranch,
Don't even get me started.
who also, yeah, I got you started. You're on the show. who also took money, right? Got government money to investigate Skinwalker
$22
Ranch.
million.
Right?
You got me going.
Yeah, Skinwalker's at
But
White
He
House.
he recently had Bob Bigelow on his last show, Jeffrey Michelov. New Thinking Aloud. You got to go see that. Yep, it's on YouTube. It's on, YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It sure is. I see Irene Akiko out there. How you doing, Irene?
Hi, Irene.
Irene was just at Hiroshima
Yes.
recently, and that was something we wanted to talk about. Because I think that's got to be kind of tremendous. We talk about the battlefields here in the U.S., but I mean, imagine going to Hiroshima. Great haunted hotel too. She says got lots of spirits too. It's all in Paranormal Japan, and yeah, sure. Let's plug that too. Paranormal Japan. If you look that up on Facebook, is Irene's group, and you also did an interview on a show. I know I caught a little bit of it. I did want to hear your data, and yeah, maybe put some of that together and come on the show and show us. I'd be really interested in that Hiroshima. Is that something that people investigate often, or is that a real oddity in Japan, Irene?
She said, sure.
Great.
Do you want to come on? Do you have your stuff ready?
It's okay. We can do it another time. Let her do that, and then we'll plan another show because we got a lot of open dates, and I think we're going to wrap things up pretty soon. I've been told that we could choose a past life lesson during a future life. You can arrange how you want to handle the lessons. Yeah, there definitely do seem to be lessons of life, right? And sometimes they're excuse me, Jesus, a little bittersweet. I'll make it bigger process. So,
Jesus Christ. No, what do I say?
Sushi.
Sushi.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. Excuse me. They also own the Wilson Ranch close to the ranch you just mentioned and investigated both at the same time. Yeah. He's the first to get a doctorate in paranormal. Yeah. You got a doctorate in, they don't call it paranormal though, right, George? I think he has another.
Parapsychology.
Parapsychology. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. And you didn't even have to Google that. So,
that's funny, Chris. That squirrel stayed. Sorry.
That squirrel hung around.
Yes.
Chipmunk
Thank
voice
you.
sushi. Yes.
I can do a whole entire voice of that. I could do voice stuff.
Haunted Battleship 2.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, we definitely like to talk to you about that, Irene. So, yeah, we'll be in contact. We'll figure that out. Cheers.
Thank you. That's Jack.
Yes,
cheers.
That's the chaser. The Diet Coke. Diet Coke chaser. Well, guys, sorry about our technical difficulties earlier in the show. We do hope you guys go out and check out Len's podcast because it is good. It's a great live stream. Southern Fried Paranormal Podcast. You can find him on Facebook.com/paranormal investigator Len Dorman, or just look up Southern Fried Paranormal Podcast,
which should be on, I think, shortly, which you're going to have to go to.
So hopefully he was able to get his stuff working a little better.
And yes, Linda, I threw my voice for my throat. My kids can do it too. It's Hereditary.
Which was a great horror movie.
What?
Hereditary.
I don't remember that one.
All right. Yeah, correct. We couldn't think of the right word. Yeah, parapsychology. Right. Which is what a lot of that is. I've got one of his books. I'll show you this real quick. And
yeah. He's awesome. This is one of the best books ever. Ooh. And I'm not going to sing in it, Linda, because I can sing that too.
The Jeffrey has several books, but I'm particularly fond of this one, PK Man.
My God.
This is all
awesome.
about Ted Owens. Ted Owens.
Yeah.
Ted Owens was a real guy, and Jeffrey studied him for a long time. He could predict the seeing of UFOs and also some events and tragedies and different things, and seemed to talk to the space intelligences, or SI, is the terminology used, and this is going like late 70s, early 80s, and it was proven by newspapers. He would call a newspaper and say, all right, you're going to get people calling you saying they see a UFO and during this week, next September, and it would happen, and it would happen in mass. And it's all documented. fascinating stuff. He did seem to be able to command UFOs with his mind. Very cool stuff. And PK is for psychokinesis. Ted seemed to have that
Ted
gift.
Owens.
He was an extremely interesting character.
And nobody believed him. Like he tried, like the newspapers, the government, nobody believed him. It was sad. And this guy is like, he's awesome. He was awesome. You should end our show with.
Jack says, pretty sure PK Man predicted a plane crashing by lightning. Could be wrong. Yes, there's a plane crash in there that he may have predicted.
But I think he predicted weather as well with the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, he would definitely make weather predictions
Mhm.
as well as some disasters. Sometimes he'd get angry and seem to bring these things about and act out of rage. I believe he had a drinking problem, and that played a role as well.
Did he? I didn't know that.
PK Man, True Story of Mind Over Matter by Jeffrey Mishlove. Yes, that's right. That's this book here. Very good book, highly recommended, as well as his show. Like, we have a few YouTube things we really love.
Yeah.
You know, one is obviously New Thinking Aloud.
Y-Files.
And the Y-Files is another.
Love AJ.
Really great production for what seems to be a 4-person team.
Yep.
Kristen got me the shirt.
I
probably
did.
saw that last week.
They actually emailed
crap.
me back. It's so cool about the shirt, and because I took a picture of Chris with it, and they're actually really on top of things. They're cool.
They are. Carol says someone just waved a hand behind you. There is a reflection. I've noticed. See that?
Yes.
There's a reflection from one of our lights.
It drives me nuts. I try to
that you
move
may
things.
have seen, but it might have been something else. You can kind of make out my hand between us.
Yeah.
Right there. It's kind of the sweet spot. Greg says, sounds like it's out of Mothman.
Yep. Well.
Jack says, yes, he did have a drinking problem. My problem is I never met a drink I didn't like.
Oh, sangria. Well, kind of homemade.
Great show as usual. Well, thank you, Greg.
Thanks,
Thank
Greg.
you, Greg.
Yours too.
Anyways, just real quick, just again to say we're not going to be on Saturday, but we will be back next Thursday with some kind of show.
Mhm.
We'll be doing something. Till then, stay safe. Take care of each other. Love each other.
Yes.
We will see you soon.
Good night, guys. Thank you so
Good night.
much.